On March 8, 2014, the world was shaken by one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history, the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. This Boeing 777, carrying 227 passengers, including 4 key figures in a deeper plot, and 12 crew members, vanished without a trace. The search, extending from the Indian Ocean to Central Asia, became an unprecedented effort, yet MH370 remains lost, shrouded in theories and speculations. Among these, a startling theory emerges involving Jacob Rothschild, one of the richest men on the planet, whose name has been associated with numerous events in history. Was the fate of MH370 part of a larger plan, a strategy of power and control executed by the global elite? Join us in this exploration of the mysteries surrounding the world of aviation and the shadows of financial power. March 8, 2014, marked a day that would be forever etched in aviation history. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777, disappeared while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. With 227 passengers, 4 of them very important in this story, and 12 crew members on board, the disappearance sparked a massive search operation that stretched from the Indian Ocean west of Australia to the depths of Central Asia. Since then, the mystery of MH370 has become one of the most notorious in aviation history. The flight took off at 0:41 and reached its cruising altitude by 1 o'clock. However, it was the final transmission at 1:07 a.m. by the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS, that marked the beginning of an unresolved mystery. The subsequent silence of the crew and the mysterious deactivation of the plane's transponder only deepened the enigma. The Malaysian military tracked the plane's inexplicable diversion across the Malay Peninsula and into the Andaman Sea, where it disappeared at 2:22 a.m. The last satellite detection at 8:11 a.m. only increased the perplexity. Families reacted to the disaster by demanding explanations and wondering where the plane with their relatives was, without receiving any response from the airline, while the families suffered the disappearance and the unknown of what happened to the plane. In January 2017, official search efforts were suspended, leaving the fate of MH370 largely a matter of speculation. Theories abound, from terrorist hijacking to possible pilot involvement. The latter gained strength due to several personal and professional factors surrounding the pilot, but without conclusive evidence, the truth remains elusive. But this is where the theory about Jacob Rothschild begins. Jacob Rothschild is one of the richest people on this planet with a net worth of $5 billion, being a participant he and the Rothschild family in many of the theories about other events in history. Let's take a look back to explain all this. In 1912, Titanic, the so-called unsinkable ship, was the victim of another grand plan. One in particular stands out for its audacity and implications. It is the theory that the sinking of the Titanic was not an accident, but a deliberate act motivated by financial reasons, specifically insurance fraud. This theory was popularized by Robin Gardner in his book Titanic, The Ship That Never Sank, where he presents a series of events and suspicious circumstances that surrounded the shipwreck. According to this theory, the accident of Titanic's sister ship, the RMS Olympic, in 1911 with the HMS Hawke, after colliding had left the White Star Line in a precarious financial situation, as they could not collect insurance for crashing into a ship. The repair of the Olympic, combined with the delay in the completion of the Titanic, would have led the company to seek a desperate way out. The damaged and less valuable Olympic was disguised as the Titanic and intentionally sent to a disaster to be able to claim the insurance money. One of the most intriguing arguments in favor is the last-minute cancellation of the trip by J.P. Morgan, financial magnate and owner of the White Star Line, the company that owned the Titanic. In addition, the unusual change in the ship's windows is mentioned, since the Titanic had all symmetrical windows in the photos, and those found at the bottom of the ocean would match those of the Olympic and not the original Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic could have been a plot to eliminate key figures who opposed the creation of the United States Federal Reserve. Among the passengers of the Titanic were some of the richest and most powerful men of the time, whose deaths could have facilitated the implementation of far-reaching financial policies. At that time, several of the world's richest men were on board the Titanic, who coincidentally also opposed the creation of the American Central Bank. Very powerful figures like John Jacob Astor IV, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus died in the sinking. Very strange, adding the fact that Morgan never boarded the Titanic, according to him, due to health problems, although they were located on vacation in Europe days later. You may be wondering what all this has to do with the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight. Calm down, friend, soon you will understand what this brief history is about. That said, this is where Jacob Rothschild comes into play. The Federal Reserve, or Fed, was founded in 1913, a year after the Titanic disaster. Founded at the initiative of the powerful and traditional European banking empire of the Rothschild family, realizing an ambitious project to conquer New York with the bold intention of gaining a position of strength in North American finances. With Yankee and European associates, the group came to constitute the largest circle of power in the economic, financial, political, industrial, and communications world. The project began when the Rothschild Bank installed an agent named Paul Warburg in New York. Through him, strong Yankee allies were recruited with renowned companies such as John Rockefeller I with his Standard Oil Company, the railroad czar Edward Harriman, steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, plus the bankers Lehman, John P. Morgan and Company, Kuhn Loeb and Company, and Jacob Schiff. As you have been able to understand so far, John P. Morgan and the Rothschild family have experience in making things disappear. On the Malaysia Airlines flight, there were 4 very important passengers for Jacob Rothschild. For days after the disappearance of the flight, the Patent Office approves a patent which 4 of the 5 patent holders are Chinese employees of Freescale Semiconductor of Austin, Texas, a company in which Jacob Rothschild is one of the major investors. The patent is divided into 20% increments among 5 holders, with Freescale holding only 20%. If a patent holder dies, the remaining holders equally share the dividends of the deceased if not disputed in a will. If 4 out of 5 die, the remaining patent holder gets 100% of the patent's wealth. And right now the remaining patent holder is Freescale Semiconductor. And as we have all seen in recent years, there have been problems with the semiconductors used to create mobile phones, car parts, and many other things, showing how important they are. Although the exact situation of the plane is unknown, this is a very striking theory that could be true and makes one think that people like the Rothschild family and large companies like Blackstone or BlackRock and banks have the power to do what they want. Let us know in the comments what you think about this and if you believe we are under the command of these types of families and companies. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming journeys through knowledge and mystery. If you liked the video, give it a like and share it with your friends.